Alrighty, haha, we're live. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday, everyone. All right, I'm just gonna give you a few seconds to hop on. I hope you catch this live because I got a lot of good stuff to share with you. And firstly, I have a new headset on, so I hope if anyone hops on, if you can kindly confirm that you can hear me, I would super appreciate that. I got a new Bluetooth thingy on, and just confirm that you can hear me, because otherwise I'm gonna have to start all over, and that's no big deal really, but I just want to make sure you can hear me. I know there's always a problem with microphones and compatibility and clarity and all that fun stuff, so as you hop on, say hi. All right, today we got a good one. We got a good one because it's special. It's special in that this is this is day 1 of 3. So I've got a 3-day training, 3-day workshop really, because I call it a workshop because this is more interactive, right? I want you to participate because there's gonna be some things I'm gonna just have you just work on, right? This is all to your benefit, and I've laid it all out for you, so don't worry at all. I mean, there's nothing that you have to raise your hand and do, but what would be super handy is a notebook and a pen. I always say that. I'm forever writing down notes and jotting down things from people who I are like one step ahead of me in my journey, or people who are like mentors or coaches of mine. And of course I'm always with my notebook and pen, because the gold nuggets of information, I've got to run with it and take action on what I hear, implement. So grab a notebook and pen, and we'll be ready to go in just a second. So again, as you hop on, say hi. All right, so tonight, I don't know what it was. It just, everything I say and everything that I'm about, right? The name of this Facebook community, Action Addicts Academy, it's all about becoming an action addict, right? And just taking action and gaining that momentum to propel you, launch you forward, and going after the things that you've wanted for so long, but for whatever reason never went after it, right? So this is all, it all comes together, it all works together, because the fact of the matter is we can't, oh, we can, but we tend to hold back from taking action because of so many reasons. So I'm here to just help you figure it out, so that you can move forward, right? So that we can progress, so that we can not just go after the things that we want, but find out what it is that we really want, right? Because there's so much involved. There's so much that goes into outlining your future and carving out your path, and the people who come in and out, and the influences, both negative and positive, the way we change our mind, the way, some things appeal to us that we never saw before, and there's so many things that go into just living day by day, but the progression is what I'm here to help facilitate, the progression, right? Because we've fallen back too many times, we slide too many times, and then it's so hard to get back up, right? So depending on who you're surrounded by, what your influences are, how you're feeling about what's going on in your life, there's so many people that hold back from pursuing more, and they just get stuck, right? So I am here to help get you unstuck. So as you hop on, say hi Esron. Hey, listen, I got a bone to pick with you. Last weekend you wished me a happy long weekend, and you had me thinking it was Memorial Day, and my plans were like, I was totally confused. Is it a different weekend, holiday weekend up in Canada? And I don't know, it's not your fault, Esron, but you did throw me for a loop. I was like, what weekend, what holiday is coming up? Hi Danielle, hi Robin, welcome. Say hi guys, let me know how your weekend was. 10, it was fantastic. 1, it was like, I just stayed home, did nothing, but I chilled. What's going on, guys? Let me know. And I have my screen, talking to you live from my phone, and I have my screen to my left, to the right on the screen here. And I just want to make sure I don't have anybody who's requesting to join us. So I'll make sure I let them in before I continue. All right, so what are we talking about today? The 8 stages of growth. The 8 stages of growth. Guys, I don't know if you've seen me post pictures, and this just popped into my head right now. I have I love plants, right? I'm not a botanist, but I love plants. I love house plants. I don't have any in my house because I have the AC on. But anyway, on my back porch, which over here in Florida, we call it a lanai, I have my plants, and they go through their seasons, and they grow, and then the leaves die and all these things. But anyway, it's something that I'm very observant of, and I see the transition, the transformation, how it grows, how long it takes to grow. And I'm almost like they're out there every day taking pictures of this, because I have this plant, and it's a plant that I never owned before until like 2 years ago. I was gifted with an amaryllis. If any one of you are familiar with an amaryllis, I was given a bulb in a box, and my box actually sat in my laundry room for about 6 months before I said, oh, maybe I should plant that thing. Anyway, so I've been like, it's my baby. This amaryllis bulb plant flower is now my baby. So it's gone through some changes, and it's just been fun to see the growth and how it goes through the phases. Anyway, it really has nothing to do with what I want to talk to you about. I just figured I'd just throw that in because we're talking about growth. But specifically, we're talking about personal growth. Personal growth. So do me a favor again, please. Just confirm that you can hear me. It was a long weekend. Yes, you can hear me. Okay, here in Canada, I was sending greetings. Aw, you're such a sweet person. Thank you, Esron. So tonight is day 1 of 3 of this workshop. And I do want to talk to you about the 8 stages of growth. Because if there's anything of all the things that I hear from my clients, I hear from everywhere really, is that you're stuck, and then you don't know how to move forward, or you don't even know what you want, or how do I do this, or like there's so many things being thrown at you. Like you think about, I mean, let's just take fitness for example. You want to start exercising, you don't know what you do, need to lose weight, but what diet do you start? Like there's all these things, different things going at you, and you have like these good intentions, and you want to do something, but you're just hit with so much information that the fact of the matter is, it's not even about the information, it's about where you are personally in your stage of readiness. And that's what determines whether or not you move forward. It has nothing to do with the diet, has nothing to do with what your friend did, has nothing to do with how much anything costs. It has to do with your career, your the job that you keep complaining about, or your situation in your marriage or your relationships, your spouse. You feel like you're stuck, and there's all these things coming at you, whether it's influence on TV or a romantic movie you saw or somebody you saw. Like, it has nothing to do with anything of that. Where you are in your stage of life, I mean, sure, there are influences out there, obvious, right? There's positive and negative influences in our lives, which have a huge impact, depending on where we are in our mental toughness and things like that. But the fact of the matter is, it has to do, whether you move forward or not, it solely has to do with your readiness. And your readiness is based upon what stage you're in of growth, right? So I've laid it out for you. And here today on day 1, I'm not going to go through all the stages. I mean, after all, it's a 3-day workshop, right? So I'm going to spread it out, give you a chance to really think about what it is that I'm sharing with you, give you a chance to digest and process it, and really apply it to the things that you see going on in your life, the things that you want, or the things that you used to want, and then you stopped wanting it for whatever reason, and now you're like, oh, why can't I go after it? So all that in a nutshell is basically what I'm going to start talking to you about today. So again, as you hop on, say hi. I am so thrilled to be sharing this with you. I'm so thrilled to have this time with you. And just to get this out of the way, right? Today is Monday. This training is going to be today, tomorrow, and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right? So at the same time, unless something crazy comes up, we're going to be here at 8 p.m. We're going to meet again tomorrow at 8, and we're going to close this out on Wednesday at 8 p.m. as well. All right. So if you have anything on TV you want to see, some last season finales of whatever, record that sucker and watch it later. Be on with me live. Engage. Let's have fun together. Let's really dissect this bad boy so we become ready for the things that we want to go after. Are you with me? All right. So that said, notebooks and pens out. Write today's date. May 20th. May 20th. I want you to write this down, because what is so great about when I tell you to write, that when I ask that you write, I can't tell you, I'm not your mama, but when I suggest that you write things down, because it's such a great I mean, whoever said that you know, girls grow out of writing in their diaries, it's just crazy. I mean, it's something that we should be doing, right? When we write, we're able to let our thoughts, we're able to, what's that, upchuck? That's not the word I want to use, but we're able to just let it go, let it out of our brain, so we're not going crazy trying to unscramble everything that we've got going on, and we're able to look at it. We're able to look at it from the outside looking in and really be able to understand exactly what it is that we're thinking about, right? It's not about having an answer. It's just about brain dumping. That's the word, not upchucking. Brain dumping, right? We just want to brain dump so we get an aerial shot of what's going on, so we get to see the bigger picture. Because sometimes, you know, we look back at it with clarity and we say, oh, well, you know, and I'm looking at my notes as I'm writing to you, as I'm speaking to you. So, you know, I'll write something down and you know, you couldn't sleep at night because you were stressing, you were overwhelmed, you were thinking about this, you were wondering about that, you were wondering about this. And so you get up and you start writing things down. In the morning, you wake up and you have, maybe you refresh, hopefully you refresh, you have a good night's sleep, and you look back with more clarity, and you're able to now understand what it is that you're writing, and you're able to just tackle each thing that you wrote down, right? So anyway, I want to help you with that. I want you to get in the habit of doing that because it helps. When I say helps, like it, big time, it helps. Alrighty, guys, so grab your notebooks again. Write it down, the 8 stages of growth, because over these 3 days, we're going to dissect them all. All right, so here's what I want to do. We've got the 8 stages of growth, and again, I'm talking about personal growth, personal development, right? And we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, all right? So at the very, very bottom of 8 stages, we call this the bottom level, like an entry point, stage 1, right? Level 1, right? You Mario Brothers, level 1. This is what I call the, I'm gonna write this down for me, guys, and maybe you could write it in the comments as well. Write it in the comments just to make it easier, so then we know exactly what point of the presentation is when I announce it. So that will help me out, guys. So somebody wants to do that for me. It's called what I call the I won't do it stage. The I won't do it stage. You with me, guys? Stage 1 of the 8 stages of growth, of personal growth, is I won't do it. Now, this is important because I want you to think about, as we progress through the 8 stages, I want you to think about really what it is, which stage that you feel you're stuck in, because that's the important thing. What stage are you stuck in? And now remember, we're talking about different things in your life, right? But here's what I want you to think about overall is, sure, you may want a bunch of things, right? You want to be totally fit, you want to fit better, you want to feel good naked, you want to look in the mirror and feel sexy, you want to not worry about the summertime and the bathing suit, you want to not worry about your next doctor's visit and the triglycerides and the high cholesterol and the sugar and all these things. Like, you don't want to worry about these things. You don't want to worry about, God forbid, you know, heart problems. You don't want to, that's the health aspect. You don't want to worry about your company shutting down and what am I going to do next? I don't have a resume, my skills, I this or that, or that job I wanted to that business I want to grow. Whatever it is in your life, that relationship that's kind of sucky right now, but you know, you're tired of it being sucky and you're not comfortable with it being uncomfortable. Like, you don't like that. The things that you want, you're going to be at a different level of readiness, right? I mentioned that earlier. You're going to be at a different level of readiness for the next level, to progress to the next level, in each area. You're not going to be ready for everything. You're not going to be stuck everywhere. You're not going to be, I'm so gung-ho about everything. You're going to be at a different level of readiness depending on what's going on, or how you feel about what you're going through, right? So, with this first stage, I won't do it. I want you to do me this. Well, let me explain it a little bit. I won't do it is basically your refusal to do something, right? You complete lack of knowledge about it, right? You just saw it. Maybe it was a commercial, infomercial or something. And you're like, nope, no way. I'm not going to do it. What? Who's that? Who's that pitching a product? I don't never heard of her. No way. They lost 10 pounds, whatever. I don't want to hear, but I don't want to know. Right? Like your refusal. I won't do that. Right? Lose the love. Like all these gimmicks that you're always saying. Again, my, you know, I start everything off talking about the health and fitness aspect because that's most prominent, right? That's what's easier to talk about. But what's harder to talk about is the deeper stuff, the stuff that we kind of squash and suppress, and we kind of just what causes tension in our lives, right? The silent treatment, the slamming of the doors, and things like that. The static in the relationships, right? I won't do it, right? Who's going to be the first one to say I'm sorry? Who's going to be the first one to, reach out and hold the hand? Who's going to be the first one? I won't do what I want. Many times I've done it. I'm tired of doing it. I told her a million times. I told him a million times. He should know by now. I'm tired. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. Right? So that's another, right? And outside of health and fitness, when we talk about relationships, that's another area where a lot of people say, I won't do it. Sad thing about that is people live for the rest of their lives stuck in that stage in their relationship, and they end up it's not a happy way to live, guys. All right, it's not a happy way to live, right? So I won't do it. I want you to grab your notebook and pen, and I want you to write down, come up with 5 things that you absolutely won't do. Right? And this is not being negative. This is, everybody's got a whole bunch of things going on in their lives, and it's just a level of readiness, right? It's a level of readiness of what you're ready to progress to. Some people are not ready to progress to the next level in their growth because they're simply not ready. So what are you not ready for? What do you say, I won't do it? Write down 5 things. I'll give you a minute. All right? I mean, your guard is up. You're just not interested in learning more. Maybe you just don't have enough information. You don't know the person. Whatever it is, I won't do it. Write down 5 things. And when you're ready, just drop an emoji and say, okay, I can only come up with 3, Mimi, but I'm doing my best here. So, I've done it. I've got my 3 to 5, list of 3 to 5. Stage 1 of my personal growth is I won't do it. So what are the 5 things? Now remember, we're dissecting this for you because I really want you to get a grasp of where you are in your life. Because once you're able to look back at this, you're going to be able to dig a little deeper, right? Right now we're just going over. I'm giving you the overview. I want you to look back at this after everything is said and done, after the workshop is done. And I want you to really take a look at this and process it and do something about it. But we'll get to that. So I won't do it. That's stage 1. All right, now you've written down your 5 things that you absolutely won't do. Stage 2. You with me? All right, stage 2 is, are you ready? Stage 2 is I can't do it. 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 Your interest is piqued. Right? Your interest is piqued. Maybe you saw someone else do it. Someone else has done it. And your interest is piqued. Now you have an awareness, right? It's the 3rd time you've seen the infomercial, right? Maybe those Ginsu knives aren't such a bad idea. But I can't do it. I can't do it. Right? You're curious. You look at it. You say, but no way. I mean, she could do it because... look at her. And she could do it. I can't because I have the job. I have the 3 kids. I have a full-time. I take care of my mom. I can't do it. So there's that. I can't do it. This is where you get real with yourself, right? It's easy. I think it's easier for you to just get real with yourself and say that and just call out the things that you won't do. Right? I'm not going to eat sushi. I love sushi. But, I won't do that. I won't do that. I think that's easier because it's easier to be black and white versus the gray area. And this is where we're stepping into the shade, the gray area, right? Dark gray, but it's gray nonetheless. And that is the being real with I can't do it. Because now, this is what people don't admit, right? Is they're all excuses. This is basically like the excuses stage. I can't do it. Oh, my knee hurts. I have a bad hip. I've never done it before. I can't do it. You want me to drive to New York for that interview? I can't do that. No, I have a thing to do. Guys, I'm going to tell you really quickly, right? Because I got the stories. So, when was it? 2013, I want to say. I think it was 2013. And there was a brand new workout being introduced by Shaun T. Hadn't been filmed yet or anything. They were actually doing auditions for the cast. They were doing cast auditions in New York City. Now, I had a bunch of friends who were actually going to audition to be on the cast, right? So this is a new workout video from a new workout video series from Shaun T. And, you know, the guy from Insanity, right? That's like an amazing workout program, right? So they were holding auditions in New York City, and I was living in New Jersey at the time. And I had actually obtained my Insanity certification, instructor certification on Staten Island. And so a bunch of us were, you know, we got word of the auditions and we were excited and we wanted to go. And I'm just gonna right there for you and say that missed opportunity because I said I can't do it. I said to myself, I can't do it. And not that I can't do it as far as the audition itself, but I allowed myself, and I say that now, right? I allowed myself to use the excuse that, well, I have my kids to pick up from school, and there's no way I could travel into Manhattan and commute. And what if I get picked, and then it's gonna be back and forth every day for I don't know how many weeks, in the shooting and the reshoots and the editing and all the behind the scenes stuff and all the filming that has to be done. Like, I mean, I didn't doubt that I wouldn't be cast. I mean, come on, right? You have to have that confidence when you go after something. You really, really do. But I allowed myself to not even go to the audition because I gave myself the excuse that it didn't fit in my schedule, And I didn't even try. Next thing you know, all my friends are in the cast. They all get cast, and I get to see them, you know, doing their thing, and I'm proud of every dang on one of them. But it's a constant reminder of what could have been, right? So my friends, you know, they're in this video, and it's for Insanity Max, which is a great program. But anyway, so this is the excuses stage. I can't do it. Stage 2 is I can't do it. What are you telling yourself? I want you to write down 5 things. What are the 5? And be real with yourself, right? You're not admitting it to me. You're not showing it to anyone. But be real with yourself, 100% real with yourself. And write down 5 things that you tell yourself on the daily or every week or on Monday afternoon because you didn't start on Monday morning. Like the reason why I can't do it. What is your excuse for I can't do it? Right? The doctors suggested this, I can't do it. I have to eat cleaner, I can't do it. Like, what are the things that you say to yourself you can't do? I want you to write those things down. I don't have the patience to deal with him. I don't want to speak with her. I'm just going to squash it. I'm just going to not even talk. I'm just going to go to bed. I'm just going to forget about it. And hopefully tomorrow, you know, things will be different. What are you refusing to do? What are you saying? I can't do it. I'm not refusing. That was the first stage, right? I won't do it. This is I can't do it. So these are the excuses, right? Because now you have an awareness, but now you're like, now you're starting to be in torment with right? So write that down. And if you care to share anything, share it, right? Share one thing of what you say you can't do. I'm telling you, once you start sharing, it gets easier for you to just release that from your system and have more clarity, because now you're no longer bottling things up. So, you know, if you feel comfortable writing it down, commenting here, then by all means do so. Am I crazy? Here, pay no mind. And then tell me if that sounds familiar, right? Is that something that, and I gotta say, right, as a trainer, as a coach, it's something that I see all the time, of course, because the constant, and I won't say battle, but the constant struggle with clients is helping them to realize where they are actually, and what stage of denial, or what stage of readiness they really are in. And that's the shocking part. That's the shocking part, because that's something that you don't go to the gym and then somebody says, what stage of personal growth are you in? No, they say, what do you want to do? Right? What do you want? Do you want to take a class? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to build muscle? Like, that has nothing. All those things are of course fantastic, but it is not by any means the starting point. It's actually, for most, the drop-off point. It's for most the drop-off point, because when you don't start with what's going on internally, everything else is just superficial. That's a fact, Jack. Sorry, love you. But that's a fact. And that's why so many people struggle. Yo-yo, everything. I mean, yo-yo in relationships, can't find the perfect mate for them, are bouncing from job to job for so many reasons. And that's because of that. It's because you're not really willing to be real with what it is that you really want. And because when you admit what you really want, you have to take action and go for it. And nobody's ready to do that. Most are not ready to take action in going for what they want. So they bounce from mediocre to mediocre, mediocre relationship, mediocre job, mediocre workout, mediocre diet, mediocre blah, 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 flat line, right? That's the reality of it. All right, so stage 2, I can't do it. I hope you've written down these 5 things, because it's really going to help you. And if you catch this on the replay, absolutely, you're going to do the same thing, whether you're catching this live and you can interact. And if you have any questions, by all means, drop them in the comments, and I'll try to answer as we go along. Otherwise, we'll have a few minutes at the end, and I can go answer some questions. But yeah, I can't do it is stage 2. And that's a big one, guys, because the toughest thing, the toughest thing is for someone to call you out, right? The toughest thing is for someone to call you out, because when someone calls you out, it's like they're noticing your biggest insecurity, right? It's the thing that you don't want to admit to yourself, right? You look in the mirror, and, you know, maybe you just had an argument with your spouse, and you're the stubborn one. You're the stubborn one. And you know it, but you're not going to tell him that. You're not going to tell her that, right? But then take someone else, takes mom or your sister or a coach to say, what just happened over there? Well, how about if you take a step back and look at what you did, or look at what you said? What? I didn't do it. But you know, deep down inside, that's really what it is, right? I mean, it takes 2 to tangle, but you know, it also takes 2 to get tangled. All right, so that's stage 2. We're going through this pretty quickly. You don't have any questions, I can go on. All right, stage 3. You should have a list of 10 by now. And then when we're done here, I want you to keep going. I hope you don't hear me scratching. I have a little itch on my hand. I'm scratching. I hope that's not so audible on the mic. But anyway, my apologies. Stage 3. Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready. Are you ready? Stage 3 is, any guesses? Any guesses? Stage 3 is, you're looking at her, right? You're looking at her working out. You're seeing her post online. She's happy, or she seems happy. And you've given yourself all the reasons why, the excuses for why you can't do that. But then guess what, right? You saw her one day, then you saw her for 2 weeks in a row, then and now it's 3 months and she's still doing her thing. And you gave yourself she doesn't have this, or she must have time, or she must have support from her spouse, and I don't have any of that. So, but then, right, you get familiar with what she's doing. She shares a little bit more openly because now she's a little bit more comfortable with posting online. She's a little bit more comfortable with Facebook and what she's doing and feeling more confident. So now she just shares a little bit more about her journey. And she reveals that she has a sick mom, that she has 4 kids under the age of 5, that she's a single mom, that she's working 2 jobs. And all of a sudden, you go from, I can't do it because look at her, she apparently has all the blah, 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 fill in the blank, to all of a sudden sitting back and going, wow, well, I want to do that too. I mean, after all, I can't be easy, but if she did it, I mean, I want to do it too. I want it, right? I want to do it. That's stage 3. That's stage 3 of your personal growth. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight because, again, like I said, this is something that you really need to apply to every aspect of your life, your career, your relationships, your fitness, your health, your everything, your relationship with your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your kids, your parents, your siblings, your coworkers. This is all everything under the sun with your communications, with what you want to go after, with the kind of relationships what you want to have, seeking out your purpose. You want to be fulfilled. You're tired of being stagnant. You're tired of feeling stuck, right? I'll say that word a million times, stuck. You got to go through this. You got to be aware. You got to move through these stages in order to get to that thing. All right? So I want to do it. I want to do it because I see her. I know more about her. I didn't know that she had 4 kids. Here I am thinking, she, lived with her mom and mom was taking care of everything. But I see, oh my God, she's in her 50s? Oh my gosh, I thought she was 29. I didn't know. My goodness, and I'm only 30 or 35 or 40, 45, 50, whatever. And if she could do it, I want to do it too. I mean, obviously it can be done, right? So now it's like the light bulb goes off in your head, and you first it was, I won't do it, to I can't do it, to I want to do it too. Right? That making sense, guys? Right? Is that where you are? Is that the level of readiness that you're in right now? Is that where you not necessarily stuck, but is that where you can progress to if you are at the I can't do it stage 2, or the I won't do it stage? Can you look at any of those things that you've written down for each of those first 2 stages and see that, you know what? I do want that too. I can see that journey of the person before me, or that show, or that biopic, or that book that I read, that he said this, he did that, she accomplished this, and I want that too. Can you get to that level, right? Can you get there? For me, my relationship, I mean, the one thing I was never, and this is, of course, we see this everywhere, is the bitterness, right? There's a lot of bitterness from broken relationships that happens. And a lot of times, sadly, we see it projected as funny, right? On Facebook, social media, it's always a funny meme, right? Oh, my last girlfriend, she, whatever the joke is, it's always something made to be a joke, right? But it's not, because we actually know, I know for a fact, that comes from pain, because there's no way you can get comfortable with that feeling. As comfortable, when I say, it's kind of like a part of you dies, that you don't even feel it anymore. And that's not something I wish for anyone. But I never had that bitterness. I was broken, but I never had that bitterness. I always knew that I could have more. Like the light was at the end of the tunnel. That I knew, despite the relationships of the past, that as long as I stepped forward, I could have it. But stepping forward was such the hardest part, because that means you had to leave everything behind. That means everything in life had to change. That means there had to be total disruption in order for you, like struggle, overwhelm, obstacle upon obstacle, financial ruin even. But that's what it took, or that's what I knew it would take in order to get what I wanted, to be fulfilled, to be loved, to have that kind of relationship that I so deeply knew I could have if I just pushed everything aside, pushed everything behind me and just jumped. And I did, and I got it, and I'm living it. Then hello, what level of readiness are you in right now? And if you're not at that level of readiness, the opposite way to say it is, where are you stuck? Where are you stuck right now? I can't do it, still stuck there? Or I want to do it, and now you're just like, you're in analysis paralysis, right? You want to start working out. Now you got to ask everybody and their mother about what gym they go to, who's their favorite instructor, what time are they going, what diet are they doing. You have to research and 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 research to try something that was the first thing that you should have done in the first place anyway. Right? I have seen this before. I know, Ezra, I know I've seen you post something here as well about if at first you don't succeed, do what your personal trainer told you to do in the first place, right? Okay? So, you know, sometimes we go around and round and round in circles. When you stop, you're right where you just should have just taken that first step to begin with, because we overcomplicate things. I don't know why. I don't know why you need to overcomplicate things in life. But we just do. We just do. Why? Because there's so much influence around us and everybody's got an opinion. So that's why we get overwhelmed with all the choices, right? But don't overcomplicate it. Simplify it. Pull it back as much as you can, and figure out what it is that you want to do, right? What do you want to do? Now I want you to write 5 things down there if you haven't done it already, right? Because that's a process, right? You have your notebook and pen out, and that's going to be a process for the next 2 days as well. Is I'm going to ask you for the 5, because 5 is a good number. 5 stretches you a little bit. If I say name one thing, then you're just going to boom, 1, I did it. What's next? Like, I want you to think, because the thing about writing is once you start, it begins to flow, right? Once you stretch beyond just the 1 or the 2, it begins to flow, right? And that's what I want for you. I want it to begin to flow so that you're able to release all these thoughts, these things that have been suppressed, these desires, these wants, these wishes, these dreams. I want you to stop suppressing that ish, because you deserve to have what you want, because you freaking work hard your whole entire life. There's no reason why you can't not just go after the things that you want, but enjoy that pursuit, because it shouldn't always be a struggle. The struggle is fighting the thing that we don't want in our lives, and fighting having it, fighting the way we feel about what we have. But the journey in the direction of what we want is not something that we fight. That's something that we welcome as we push the other things away, all right? So don't get the two confused, right? We don't struggle to get what we want. We struggle to push the things that we don't want away so that we can make room for the things that we want. If this were written post, I'd say read that again. Rewind, play that part again, all right? So you've written down the 5 things I want. I want to do it. I want to do it. What is it? 5 different things. All right? And I'll open it up for any questions you may have. All right? And while we're waiting for that, I just want to remind you that this is a 3-day workshop. I do have the event posted on my page, on the Action Addicts Coaching. I've thrown the link in here in the Action Addicts Academy. It's on Coach Mimi Negra on my page. So if you share that event link, it's a 3-day event, so you still got time. If you share that event link, I'm going to add your name into a drawing to win one of 3. There's going to be 3 sessions. Well, I may have to cut it back if nobody volunteers, if no one shares these posts, right? But I really want you to, I want you to get comfortable with doing some of the things that are uncomfortable. Because even though this is social media, and even though most of you may not know me, you're never going to get to know me. You're never going to get to know others. You're never going to get to know yourself, really, unless you step out of that. And step out of that fear of the unknown, of the she's a stranger, I don't know what she's up to or how he can help her, they don't know me, or like, you have to let that guard down, because you just have to. I mean, if I didn't, number one, I wouldn't be here with you, right? And I wouldn't have had the pleasure of meeting so many people in this journey, of helping so many people along this journey, of passionately enjoying the work that I do on a day-to-day basis, in the work I produce, in the people I speak with, in the connections I make. I mean, I am in a completely different place only because I pushed through that fear, that insecurity, that lack of confidence, right? That knowing what I wanted and then just going after it, right? So that involves a lot, right? It involves stepping out. It involves getting uncomfortable. But that's the only way. That's the only way. Nothing is going to land in your lap. Everybody who plays the lottery, like crazy people. I mean, I don't say that you're crazy, but it's almost like like if you applied that same diligence in getting out and meeting people, or connecting with those who can help lift you to take you to the next level, and saying hi on these lives, and chatting, it just takes you to another level completely. And that makes that has a progressive, lasting impact on your life. It really does, in countless ways that we can't even see today because it just hasn't landed there yet. But when we make room for it, it lands. I promise. It like comes into your airspace, and you start to get a visual, and then you lock in on that visual, and it's like beep, 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 psh, there it is. Oh, thank you, God. I now have this in my life because I made room for it. Right, guys? So share the event, have a chance to win. And if you have any questions at all for me, I'll just stay on another minute. And then share the post, guys, on my page. You have the event. I think the event is also on my page, on my public page. So it's not anything like in here within this community. It's not, you're not able to share it because of the privacy settings I have in this community, so that you're able to post freely and no one else can see, so that we have that I don't want to say privacy, but that openness, right? That we can share amongst ourselves and not worry about who can see it, because no one else can see it other than those who are in this community. So you go on my page and check it out and share the event. And I will be greatly appreciative, because it's going to help you all, like I said. So that being said, we don't have any questions. Alrighty, guys. So I'll see you for day 2 tomorrow. We'll talk about stage 4, 5, and maybe even stage 6, depending on time. Guys, have a great evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.